Just 1 second, I'm just sending this to everybody, and that's it. Yes, I'm ready now. Hope so. Here it is. It's recording. Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Parama Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Sarva Gurubhyo Namaha, Shri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha, Shri Sarvam Shri Krishna Namaste. So, any questions after the last class? Any quick questions? You remember the last class? I guess no. Let me just then find out this. I need to download this. Hold on a second. Just a second. I just want to share my screen. I'm sharing my screen just to make sure. Okay. You can see my screen, right?
Yes, yes.
You can hear me well. You can see my screen, right?
Yes, yes. Yes, yes.
Very good. All right. So, see, the thing is, last week I had to really apologize. I wanted to start preparing early, and when I thought that whatever class I did last week was the toughest shloka of the second chapter, so the rest of the shlokas will be very simple. So why bother preparing too long? And I delayed my preparation to the last moment, and I didn't even find good time to prepare. I'm actually running through conflicting thought process in my mind. One aspect is to teach and learn Bhagavad Gītā and teach Bhagavad Gītā. That's one aspect of it. And then I suddenly get very depressed by looking at so many of my friends who are going deep into Sri Bhashya, Brahma Sutras, who are going deep into Upanishad Bhashyas and so many other things. And I feel that I'm not learning learning much. So I have started getting into other classes where I learn a lot. That is causing a problem because I don't know how much time to allocate for the new classes and how much for time to prepare. So I'm sorry I couldn't prepare too much for this class. Anyway, we'll go through a few shlokas and then we will figure out if there are any questions and we can deal with the question and answers. Okay, now. This is the last verse I talked about in the last class. Let me, 1 second, let me position my window properly here. Okay. Vishvam Satyam, Echiketa Satyam, Kavir Manishi Paribuhu, Swayam Yata Tathyato Arthan Vedadate Ashashvati Bhyasamabhya Iti Shrutescha. As you know, Madhvācārya school stresses on realism of everything. It's a school of realism. It is not a school of idealism. School of idealism is Shankaracharya's. School of realism is Madhvācārya's. So he stresses from taking that is actually quoting the references. Vishvam Satyam, the universe is real. Echiketa Satyam, I don't know exactly the meaning of what Echiketa. That's some kind of a Rigvedic term there. Basically, it refers to the same thing as universe is real. And not only the universe is real, that Lord, he is Kavi, who knows everything. He is the ruler of everybody's minds. and he has established himself, and he has created this universe with laws, and he has created the creators like Chaturmukha Brahma and so many other deities, devatas, who are all managing the universal operations like creation, sustenance, maintenance, and dissolution, and also the karmas and karma phalas, and so many different rules and regulations, the Vedas, the ones which give you beyond sensory perception, beyond the sensory universe, whatever it is, like yoga, Veda, and all those things. And also thousands and millions of things related to this world of pratyaksha, or what we can experience through our senses and mind. So he has given all these laws. So how can all this be unreal? There's nothing unreal here. That is his viewpoint. Now, the next verse is avināśi tu tad viddhi yena sarvam idaṁ tatam vināśam avyayasya asya kaścit kartum arhati. This verse seems to be very simple. And I thought that, we have already dealt with 2.16, which was a verse with a lot of information in it. And 2.17 seems to be very simple. And I thought, okay, let's go. And after this point, obviously, 2.18 and all should be pretty straightforward. That was my idea. Let's see what happens in 2.17. Avināśi tu tad viddhi yena sarvam idaṁ tatam means simple. The words are pretty simple. Avināśi tu tad viddhi means this, whatever the tat is, the tat is avināśi. That the tat does not perish. It is imperishable. So the tat is imperishable. And what is this tat? We will figure it out. Viddhi means to know. Oh, Arjuna, know that this tat is avināśi, that it is not subject to destruction. Yena sarvam idaṁ tatam. So here this word says by which everything is pervaded. Sarvam idaṁ tatam means everything, all this is pervaded by this tat, this yena. Then, vināśam avyayasya kaścit kartum arhati. So this is avyaya, means which is unchanging, no transformations. So vinasha, again, he is using the term vinasha again here. Vināśam avyayasya means destruction to the one which is a changeless entity. Na kaścit kartum arhati. Nobody can do this. Nobody can cause destruction of this unchanging entity. This is exactly what the meaning is from the verse. But the way Madhvācārya takes it is quite different. So Madhvācārya comes up with two parallel bhashyas, right? The GB is Gita Bhashya, GT is Gita Tatparya. So in the GB he says, Kim Bahuna, what's the big deal? There is a lot more to talk here. Yad deshito anantam tan nityam evam. Whatever is unlimited in space, that is nitya only. Vedad yanyadapi ityaha. So the nitya category, that which is real, that which is eternal, has number of elements in it. There are a number of things which are nitya. We already talked about Prakṛti and Purusha. Prakṛti is matter. That was talked about in detail in Nasato vidyate bhavo na bhavo vidyate sataha. So, just a second. And even other verses in Bhagavad Gītā, in the 15th chapter, Prakṛtim Purusham Jaiva Vidyanadi Ubhavapi, things are saying that Prakriti and Purusha are nitya. Anadi nitya, that is the term Madhvācārya used. Anadi means that which does not have a beginning. Nitya means it is eternal. So we already talked about Prakriti and Purusha in the previous verses. Prakriti is matter. Mula Prakriti is the causal matter. Purusha is Jivatmas. They are all nitya. But yena sarvam idaṁ tatam means obviously what occupies everywhere. That is space, right? And he uses the term avyakrita Ākāśa. Avyakrita Ākāśa is just space, right? The space. That is unlimited. And that is also nitya. It is eternal. Sarvam idaṁ means this universe here. Also, our other nityas, Varṇas. Varna is the word, the letters. In Sanskrit, there are like so many letters, 50 plus letters or something. All these Varnas are nitya according to Madhvācārya. They are always there. They were never. They will never go out of. They are first of all changeless, and they are. They're always there. No beginning to them. They are anadi nitya. That's what they say. Kāla is also nitya, right? Kāla is time. Like that, and they cannot be destroyed. So why is the second vināśa is said? First is vināśi is said. Vināśi means that which has destruction. Again, vināśam avyayasya asya kaścit kartum arhati. Why is second repetition of this vināśa? Madhvācārya says here, the second repetition is, there may be some powerful people who could curse and effect change. They could destroy using the power, and like a Vishwamitra or somebody, great rishi, he can curse and change some things or destroy some things. So no. Even curses by any person cannot destroy certain things. And these are all nitya vastus. They will never be destroyed. However, what is the uniqueness of Bhagavan Krishna? Okay, till now, what they talked about is, okay, Prakṛti is nitya, matter is nitya. Then what else? Jīvas are all nitya, fine. Paramatma is nitya, Krishna, Bhagavan is nitya, okay, fine. And now the Vedas are nitya, Kāla is nitya, Varṇas are nitya. So in the nitya category, there are a lot of people, a lot of entities. What is the great thing about this Bhagavan Krishna, for whom millions of people might want to engage in a battle? Their lives are at stake. Why? This war is also a worship of Bhagavan Krishna. What is so unique about Bhagavan Krishna? He was another person who engaged in the processes of the war. He talked to Duryodhana. He talked to so many of the people, and he tried to negotiate between Pandavas and Kauravas. It didn't work. And they started a war. So these kind of things happen all over the world. So if you look at the past history, there were empires after empires after empire, and each empire wanted to expand their empire by engaging in war. Why this particular war or battle is a worship of Bhagavan that we sort of covered in the previous lectures. But why Bhagavan is unique? What is great about Krishna is mentioned in this shloka according to Madhvācārya. Yadyapi nityatvam jīvasyapya asti tathapi sarva prakarena avināśitvam viṣṇureva iti tu shabdaha. In the Gītā Tatparya, he says, look, Jiva is also nitya, and there are a number of other nityas also. Tathapi, in every possible way, the that which is not perishable or not that which is not destroyable is only Viṣṇu. So why is, if we are all talking about everything is all these things are real and eternal, but Viṣṇu is one person, in no way he can be destroyed. What does it mean? The tu shabda has a meaning here. Let's go by. In the Gītā Tatparya, Madhvācārya explains, anityatvam dehahanihi dukkha praptihi apurnata. He mentions 4 different items, 4 aspects. Types of anityatva, types of destruction can be. Anityatva is one destruction. That means it is not eternal. It will somehow go away after some time. Dehahanihi, loss of body, or body being attacked, or body being subject to wounds or anything like that. Dehahani means body is lost, right? So that is one type of destruction. Dukkha is another type of destruction, because even if somebody has a good body, mind, and intellect and all those things, the person, because of so much of grief, he or she may even go commit suicide. So what is the good thing about having a good body and Jiva being eternal and all those things? Dukkha is a big issue. So apurnata is incompleteness, right? Incompleteness. So all the four types of destruction, incompleteness is also destruction, because that becomes dependency. And if it is dependent, then it's not, it cannot handle itself. So who is independent here? Hari only. So all these four types of difficulties or blemishes are not there only in Hari. Hari is eternal. He does not have any dehahani, or his bodies are never subject to destruction. Dukkha, he never has any lesha, or even an iota of grief or sadness, sorrow. Apurnata, he is always complete. Everybody else is incomplete, including Lakshmi, including all other devatas, they are incomplete. So this is what Madhvācārya is aiming at. And how he justifies it is he brings in Paramashruti. The Paramashruti is, I don't know exactly where this is located or how to find the source of Paramashruti, that I have to ask some Madhvācārya, Madhva Bhasha experts to figure out where exactly we can find this Paramashruti. I don't know if other acharyas have ever quoted from this Shruti. He says, Apurnata nashas chaturvidaha proktaha tadabhavo harehe sada. Hari is always not at all subject to, forever, not at all subject to any of these four kinds of blemishes. Tadanyesham tu sarvesham nashaha kechit bhavantihi. One of these, of the four different types of destructions are always affecting the rest of everybody, rest of all beings. Iti Mahavarahe. Sorry, the second quote is from Paramashruti. The first quote is in Mahavarahe. Mahavarahe could be Varaha Purana, I think. I'm not sure what Mahavaraha, maybe Mahavaraha is same as Varaha Purana. And I don't have the number for that particular reference. And he quotes the second quote, Deshataha Kālatascha Gunataha Tridas Tatihi Sa Samasta Harereva Nahyanye Purna Sadgunaha. So the thing is, limitations in space, or in space is Deshataha, right? Limitation in time is Kālataha. Gunataha means limitation in the gunas, the auspicious gunas. There could be limitations. The devatas have limited gunas, but they might have. They are also kalataha, deshataha. That is in time and space. They are limited in a way, right? Because even the whole Swarga, Indra, they change, right? After some time, the Swarga can be, Swarga is also destructible in a way. And then after some time, the Devatas can come down as lower beings. After enjoying the good benefits of the Punya Karmas, they will have to fall down. Kshine Punye Martilokam Vishanti. Kshine Punya means once the Punyas go away, they are exhausted, they have to come back to this world. So there may be limitations in terms of their nature, capability, experience, and so on. Gunataha, Hari is always unperturbed, and he has infinite auspicious qualities. And that's only for Hari and nobody else. And that is established in the Paramashruti, where there are three types, which is Deshataha, Kālataha, Gunataha. Regarding gunas, the qualities, regarding Kāla or the time, and regarding space. Hari is beyond all this. Sa samasta harereva nahyanye purna sadgunaha. The others do not have complete auspicious qualities. They are limited in their qualities. So says Paramashruti. So I think Lakshmi does not have dukkha, though there is no dukkha sparsha for Lakshmi, according to Madhvācārya. But even Lakshmi does not understand Hari completely. He is infinite in every way. Probably Lakshmi understands Hari as much as anyone can, or the highest or something, but even that is incomplete. And Lakshmi is dependent, and Hari is not dependent. Can I ask a question? What do you see as slightly different in the Chaitanya Sampradaya or ISKCON movement, where ISKCON clearly writes in their traditional textbooks that Madhvācārya is one of the earliest of their acharyas of their system. But still, what is the difference? Can anyone say? I put all of you to sleep today. What is happening? There are a lot of people and no answers. Silence. Do you see a difference?
I have a question, not an answer. I can't understand how. No, I can't see the difference. I can't understand why Devata, how a Devata can lose his punya. I mean, how can the punya of a Devata come to an end?
Devata's Devaloka is attained, right, through yajnas. To attain Swarga, somebody has to do some yajnas or other things like that. Even people like Nahusha, Nahusha was a Indra, right? And Nahusha, once happened is he commanded the Sapta Rishis, the 7 great sages, to pick him up in a palanquin, palak, that palanquin, and they had to walk. And Agastya, one of the short rishis, was actually limping because he was not able to be at the same height as the other rishis. So the palanquin was shaking a lot. And Nahusha said to Agastya, Sarpa, go fast, you're slowing down. Then Agastya was upset, and he cursed Indra and said, you will come back as a human being. And he came down to earth as a Nahusha, maybe a Prithvipati, maybe a king or something, but he was reduced. His time in heaven was reduced. So they can achieve, if they misbehave in the Indra Padavi or in the heaven of Swarga, they can come down.
So the papa is done in heaven, not
what?
Okay, I got it.
Okay. Yeah. Aditya ji, what's up?
Swami, there is a small confusion in the slides, and so it is in the second slide in the Gita Bhashya, Madhvācārya says that space and all these things are nitya, eternal, right? And then he says that one of the destruction is anityatva. How?
Yeah.
How is it? So.
Okay. I know what you're saying. Okay. I see. Yeah. What you're see in this slide, right?
Yeah. Here.
Are you referring to this slide?
Yeah.
Okay.
And in the previous, it is said the other things are nitya, right?
No. Hold on. See, these are 4 aspects. Anityatva, dehahani, dukkha, apurnata are 4 types of destruction. Okay. Jiva and Jiva, Prakṛti, Kāla, Ākāśa have anityatva, right? They don't have anityatva. They are nitya vastus, but they have other problems. Jiva can have devahani, right? There is a person, the body can be killed, the body can be cut or burnt or whatever in a war. So they don't have complete of all these four aspects, right? That's what it's saying. So it is not saying Jiva has anityatva. It is not saying, see, all others other than Hari are subject to one of these four possible types of blemishes in terms of destruction. These are four types of destruction. Anityatva, dehahanihi, dukkha, and apurnata. So the Jiva, Jada, and all those, they may get away from one of these blemishes, but they are subject to one of these blemishes. Right? Do you understand?
Yes, Swami, I understand, but I still have the question. Then, what entity is Nitya then of all the other categories that was spoken of before?
Repeat your question. What?
Which entity would be Nitya? Like Prakṛti, is it Nitya or Anitya?
No, Prakṛti is Nitya. True, right? But Prakṛti has other problem. It is insentient. It doesn't even know anything. In that sense, it has got a problem, right? Prakṛti does not have dukkha. Prakṛti is apurna. It is incomplete because it doesn't even know. So it is not a complete thing. Prakṛti is nitya, so it is not anitya. Dehahani does not. Prakṛti always changes, right? Prakṛti always changes in terms of swarupa, the nature, the Prakṛti, like how the mud becomes the pot and pot gets destroyed. Anything which is Prakṛti related, the effects of Prakṛti, they are always subject to changes. So,
yes, Swami, that makes sense now.
Okay.
The blemishes.
Any other questions?
How do you describe destruction here?
How do you describe?
Swami, how do you describe destruction, and how do you define destruction?
Nasha, right?
Like the four
Nasha
types of destruction you say,
Nasha
right?
is some aspect of its swarupa or guna or changing. That is Nasha. Nasha is a change. Nasha is destruction, means change. Destruction is also reduction of some capabilities. For example, a pot is destroyed. The pot was able to carry water before, but when it gets destroyed, pot loses the capability, right? And the form is lost. There is some change. That is Nasha. Body was performing, body was working, the person died and the body is incapable of doing anything. That is some kind of Nasha. Perishableness, being perishable. So Nasha, what do you call, you might be asking a very technical question of what Nasha is and how Nasha is described in the Madhvācārya's views, and how Nasha is described in some other some other philosophies. That's a larger question, and I don't know the perfect answer to it. I'll have to go check everything. But in general, Nasha means destruction. That's all. Destruction is defined as undergoing a change, losing capability, losing some fundamental value or ability.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions?
Krishnaji, I have a very basic question about this Purnatva. This is Darshan. So I've been thinking about it since the class started, when you said about the four types of Nasha. See, when we pray to Hari, he's pleased. So if he's pleased upon prayer, then he wasn't pleased before. Then that means that he was not Purna. Then if there is a change in Hari's status. Now, how do I reconcile this? Hello, I can't hear you. Hello? Krishnaji, I can't hear you. The quality of the voice changed.
Just a second. I cannot see. Hold on a second. I don't see anything. Let me come closer. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, go ahead, please.
So you heard my question, didn't you? Like about Purnatva of Hari. So if we pray to Hari, then he's pleased and he offers us blessings. So upon prayer, if he is getting pleased, doesn't it mean that there is a change that happens in Hari on account of something else that is happening from somewhere else? So if there is a change, if he is getting pleased, then he wasn't that pleased before. So there is a change in his level of Purnatva then. How do I reconcile this question in me?
See, right? Nothing is pleasing for him. Nothing is disgusting for him. Name dveshyosti na priyaha. But one thing, see, that is a little bit of in fundamentally he does not have any change. And for operations of this universe, he reacts to bhaktas. He reacts to bhakti. E bhajanti tumam bhaktya maite teshu chapyaham. I'm very interested in a person who is very devoted. I will help that person. So the thing is, in that apurnata, it does not affect his what do you call, his sorrow or grief. He does not have any sorrow or grief. Even when Rama as an avatara, he he suddenly figured out that Sita was hijacked. Sita was kidnapped by Ravana. Sita is not a kid. The word is somehow used as kidnapped, whatever it is. I don't have a good word to explain. So it seems in Ramayana, it says he was crying so desperately that he lost Sita. But that is an avatara, and then he is acting in an avatara. But fundamentally, Brahman's bliss is not reduced at all. Brahman's, it is an act. It's an act in an avatara. He will act based on how people, based on how he has to work out so many karmas and deal with so many entities in this universe, beings in this universe. But fundamentally, it does not affect anything from him, anything about him. See, this one is expressed in different ways by acharyas. Shankaracharya basically says that he is not at all involved. Nothing can bother him. There is no world to start with. For him, there is no universe. From the Nirguna Brahma side, there is no universe. Saguna Brahma side, Shankaracharya also had to deal with this. If somebody is Saguna, then Shankaracharya will get away saying that Saguna is slightly reduced anyway. Saguna is not exactly like Nirguna Brahman. So I'm going to, that's okay with me. But for the Dvaita and Vishishta Dvaita, even though he is Saguna, he is perfect. Because he knows what is dharma, and he is according to dharma. And another thing is, even for a yogi, he is not affected by anything which changes, right? That is clear in the Bhagavad Gītā. Na putra maranadapi, in Acharyas in the 6th chapter, they say even if a child of a great yogi dies, the yogi never gets affected because he is not connected to this body. So he is not connected to the bodily relationships. He is never affected by any changes in the bodily relationships. Not even if what do you call when a very interesting thing in the Bhagavata, when they explain even the nature of Prahlada, He says that, oh, this Rakshasa Prahlada is actually Rakshasa Kula. But nobody can think about his gunas. And what he says is, he throws the little, that is Hiranyakashipu's subordinates, is ordered to throw this Prahlada into a pit of snakes. When they throw, there are hundreds of snakes around the little kid Prahlada. And each one of them is so upset that something fell on them or something like that, and they started biting him. Initially, first few seconds, Prahlada felt the pain. Then Prahlada started thinking about Krishna, thinking about Hari constantly. Then he lost even the connection with the pain, connection with the body. He did not feel the pain at all. Other than Krishna, other than Hari, his mind was fully filled with nothing else but Hari. Krishna graha grahitatma naveda jagadi drisham, it says that in the Bhagavata, possessed by the planet called Krishna. Prahlada never knew this word like the other people. Prahlada didn't go after toys, which was brought by his father from so much of pilferage and plundering all over the world. Prahlada was never worried about pain also. So there is a possibility that in the highest levels, even a yogi can be totally bereft, totally beyond any suffering or pain. It is possible. And Krishna, being in Paramatma himself, Dvaita clearly says there is the Rupa form of Krishna, that is the real form of Krishna, is beyond everything else. It is it says this is common to Vishishtadvaita and Dvaita. Nice question you asked. The way they say is, Ramanujacharya says Sakala Itara Vilakshana. Brahman is different from all else. You cannot put a box and say this is what is Brahman. Oh, this Purana says so much about Krishna. Is this what Krishna is? No. Krishna is beyond everything said in the Puranas. It is beyond all the words. It can be, Krishna can be finally experienced when Krishna decides to give you the experience of Brahman. Yame Veshamrunute, Tene Halabhyaha. The way the other acharyas, that is Dvaitin acharyas and Vishnadvaita acharyas explain is, Yamai Veshamrunute. If he chooses to come in front of this yogi, then the yogi will get the blessings of understanding who this Krishna is to some extent. A complete understanding of this yogi is only when person is dead and Krishna chooses to bring them to a particular plane or realization in a different way. So there are different answers to your question as to why Krishna is perfect. And Krishna, whatever may be the operational issues of this universe, what do you call, somebody is in pain, I have to go help. Draupadi is in trouble. Those Kauravas are humiliating and physically molesting this Draupadi, and I have to be here. But the person, Krishna is always blissful. But oh, this person needs. He's not affected to anybody. He's not attached to anyone. Devanam Danavanam tu Samanyam Adhidaivatam. This is in the different Jitanta stotras. There are like 5 or 6 Jitanta stotras. In that stotra, it says Devanam Danavanam Samanyam Adhidaivatam. He is the common god of all the Rakshasas and Asuras, and also the Devatas, and also probably all the human beings. So he is impartial to anybody. In that sense, he is not affected. I hope this answers. I don't know.
Thank you, Jay. I'll sit and contemplate on this a little bit more, because I was thinking, like, if there is a thought that he puts onto something to offer you moksha, to give you something, prior to that he didn't do it, and then after that he did it. So that for me it looks like it's a change. And so
see, the thing is, change. Oh, now I understand what you're saying. Yeah. Change is always there. Okay.
So because for a purnatva, like means there should be no change. Change means nasha. And so that's where my confusion is. So
good question. Now you're talking. If it is only sorrow, that is a different question, right?
no, it's not the
Unattached
sorrow I was
means-
talking about. It's the change
So
that I was-
change. So sankalpa. So even in creation, there is sankalpa, right? In creation, sustenance, maintenance, anugraha, nigraha. Anugraha means blessing or cursing.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
So that's why, like, if something is purna, that change shall means that, like, there is some kind of a fluctuation in this purnatva. So that is where I'm kind of confused.
Good question. Okay. Just let me think about it.
அடியேன் அது வந்து அந்த
சொல்லுங்க.
பூர்ணத்துவம் குறையறதே கிடையாது. இது வந்து நம்ம பண்ற ஆக்ஞாச்சேதி மமத்ரோகின்னு சொல்றாரு. அவர் விதிச்சத நம்ம பண்ணாத அகிருத்திய கரணம் கிருத்திய அகரணம் அப்படி நடந்துக்கிறதுனால அவருக்கு வர கோபம். இது வந்து மொத்தம் லோகவத்து லீலா கைவல்யம்.
Understand. Sudarshanji is saying, see, now first define purnata. See, destruction இங்க என்ன சொல்லிருக்குதுன்னா இந்த மதோபாஷத்துல 4 types of destructions தானே, நாசங்கள், நாசம்.
அது புரிஞ்சது. அவர் வந்து பூர்ணத்துவத்தை क्वेश्चन பண்றாரு இல்லையா, அபூர்ணதா தான இருக்குன்றாரு.
he is questioning the change itself. change இல்லாத இருக்கணுமே. அவர் என்ன சொல்றாரு?
சேஞ்ச் வந்து அபிநயத்திலே தாத்பரியம். லோகத்துல லோகத்தை நடத்தணும்ல, அந்த சேஞ்ச் எல்லாம் வந்து
அத பத்தி கேட்கல அவரு. What he is saying is, see, yes, the Lord has to take care of this universe. He has to will. He has to change his decisions. He has to positively act and things like that, right? So the moment you describe that any change is some kind of a destruction. See, the definition of change or definition of destruction. What is destruction? Aditya ji asked about what is destruction. So any change is destruction then. If any change is destruction, even Krishna changes his mind by giving what you call curses or accepting Bhagavatas or devotees and or creation. In every aspect, even the Ishvara is changing his mind, changing his actions. So how can Ishvara be nasharahita? Because nasha is change.
அதுதான் நான் சொல்றேன். அது வந்து அந்த சேஞ்ச் உலகத்தை நடத்துறதுக்காக வருது. அவன் ஸ்வதந்திரன், வேற ஒருத்தர் கூட கிடையாது ஸ்வதந்திரன். அவன் யாருக்கும் கட்டுப்பட்டவன் இல்ல.
True, he is not dependent on anybody else. He is independent, but he operates. But something changes in this whole operation, right? Whenever there is a change, how do you see the question comes? See, now this could be only just how do you define nasha, right? This question becomes very powerful now. How do you define a nasha? See, jiva does not have swarupa nasha. We'll say swarupa nasha means jiva doesn't die when the body dies. So jiva continues. It has got a same swarupa. Similarly, Bhagavan has same swarupa because there is no change in the swarupa of Brahman. But there is a change in the dharmabhuta jnana of Brahman or his consciousness or his relationship with this universe. There is a change, right?
The relationship with the universe. That's not correct.
His relationship with the universe has changes in it. Yes. Because he has to operate on the universe. He has to interact with the universe. There is change in his activities, interactions with the universe. That is what Sudarshanji is questioning us. If there is a change, that is an asya, right? So then we have to define nasha as some kind of a restriction or decrease in ability or something like that. None of these activities will decrease his ability. In fact, there is a verse in the Upanishads. Ajayamano bahuda vijayate.
No, it is a sport of the Lord. It is not an asya, no?
What?
It is the sport, his play.
It's the sport.
You can't
Exactly.
call it
It's a
asya.
sport.
That's his changes
It's a
in
sport.
sport.
So, but you know one thing, but by definition, you have to define. See, I think Sudarshan ji has pointed a very good important point. The reason is, how do you define nityatva when jiva nityatva was trying to was defined? Well, say anything which does not change is nitya. See, in the Shankara Bhashya, they define nityatva in different ways, right? One aspect is if there is any change.
நமக்கு நினைக்கிற டெஃபினிஷன் எல்லாம் காடுக்கு பொருந்தாது. அதை முதல்ல நம்ம தெரிஞ்சுக்கணும்.
That means whatever definitions we come up with cannot be applied to God because he is beyond definition. Yato vacho nivartante apyamanasa. Brahman is beyond our mind and our walk or speech. So that is true. I think you have so. And it says, Dabhrameva vethatvam brahmano rupam. You know very little of Brahman. If you think you know Brahman, you don't know Brahman. So,
Krishnaji, this is like, there's a constitution body, and there is a legal thing. Like, he defines the constitution, and he is also the legal, the guy dispensing the law. So, he has already defined the Shastras, and now during the Srishti time, he is dispensing whatever he defined as Shastras. When people do mistakes, he punishes. When people ask for moksha, he gives moksha. So that is not to say that he's having changes in him. He is not having changes in him. So if you go and ask for Sharanagati, he gives you Sharanagati. If you go and ask for money, he gives you money. That doesn't mean he's having changes in you himself. That is simply means he's just simply saying, these are all the laws that I laid out, and I am simply obeying the laws that I set up for myself and you. That's how I think about it.
True. No, you can say that. See, what the fundamental comes back to one simple question: how do you define nasha? Okay, do you define nasha as anything? No. 1 second.
You define nasha உலகத்து அளவுல பெருமாளுக்கு இல்ல.
The first reaction that I had when Sudarshan asked the question was, it is like, when somebody
we have to say in a different way. Nasha definition doesn't apply to God, who can sport. Because nasha definition has to be defined properly. Because satyam jnanam anantam brahma yo vedanihitam guhayam, these verses are there. And their satya means asat vyavritti, that which is not asat. You can say from Shankaracharya's point of view. Or you can say
அகிலஹேய பிரத்யநீகன் அந்த ஒரு இதை எடுத்துட்டீங்கன்னாலுமே இந்த அபூர்ணத்துவன்ற வார்த்தையை நம்ம சொல்லவே முடியாது.
That is true. No, I understand. Akhila heya pratyanika means anything which is blemish. He is beyond all blemishes. No blemishes can touch him. So what it is then you cannot define nityatva as or nasha as destruction, as change, right?
ஏன் அவரை அகட்டித்த கடனா சாமர்த்தியம் சொல்றோமே, எதுவுமே பண்ண முடியாததெல்லாம் பண்ண முடியும்ன்றது தானே. அப்ப நமக்கு போடுற ரூல அவளுக்கு போடக்கூடாது காடுக்கு.
I understand agatita gatana samartyam is like he can do anything, a magic which nobody can even question, kind of a thing, right? Something which is impossible is always possible for Krishna or Hari. That is one way of looking at it. It's true. Agatita gatana samartyam is definitely a powerful definition, powerful view. So the thing is, our own definitions of nasha becomes polluted in a way, incorrect or insufficient in some ways. So we have to define nasha carefully, right? Why don't I do one thing? I'll take this up in the next class because I want to be completely clear about this. Okay, I'll check with some people and let you know how to define nasha in a way that Hari is protected from our definitions.
Hello.
Hello, yeah.
Would it also be taken in a manner that it's our perception that Lord Krishna is changing, but actually he's not changing?
Well, that's also very hard to justify.
Because
See, even see, then our means it's not only our and you and me and things like that. There's also an our, like a level of great acharyas or great yogis, maharshis, Narada, Sanat Kumar, and all. From their perception, also he will change, right? Bhrigu Maharshi, Maharshi Namaham, Bhriguraham. All from their perspective, also in the various Leela avatars and the Puranas and all, he seems to change, he seems to create, he seems to do all those things. Any interaction in this universe will create a change. And that we have to accept, understand. So, of course, it has to come out with a different different definition. Thank you for pointing this out, Sudarshan. Why don't I do one thing? I'll take it up in the next class, because I don't want to say something without thinking properly. I know that there are definitions which are very clear. See, the problem with all the work we are doing in our class is I have to be sincere to you. When I represent Madhva Bhashya, I have to represent Madhvācārya's view on definitions. And I have to represent, if I represent Shankaracharya or Ramanujacharya, I have to respect their school's definition. Each school has a different definition, by the way. That is why I want to take this up in the next class. But an extremely good question. And Aditya ji also asked the same question in a different way. But it's a good question. Aditya ji, you're still raising your hand. What is your question?
Swami,
No
can you briefly also explain if Madhvācārya believes in Parinamavada, is it? And
Parinamavada is different for Madhvācārya. See, when you say Parinamavada, what does it mean? Does the creator change while creating this universe? Parinamavada, for example, or is he the material cause of this universe? Right? Madhvācārya believes that the what did he say?
In the Advaita view, they say it only appears like that, right?
No.
In the Advaita view, they say that it only appears.
No. You are talking from Advaita point of view. Don't do that. What is Parinamavada? Parinamavada means actual change happens to the creator also, whatever is being created. So like how the pot, the mud changes to become a pot, right? So does the Brahman change to become this universe? In what way? So there is a very fundamental question. And then to an extent, this Parinamavada is acceptable to Vishishta Dvaita, not to Advaita or not to Dvaita. In Dvaita, in a way, Dvaita also has to accept some Parinama in creator, right? Krishna before creation, Krishna after creation may be slight difference. The different activities define Krishna after creation. Different activities define Krishna before creation. So what Parinama changes? Parinama means change. Change occurs to matter for Madhvācārya. Change does not occur to Paramatma, but change occurs to matter which goes through transformation. So here we need to define the word nasha clearly. That's the main point. And Parinamavada means the Brahman also undergoes some change to create. But again they will go back and say in Swarupa, Brahma has Swarupa and Swabhava in the Vishishtadvaita. So there are different views here. We have to be very careful in separating out these three mata views. We will handle that. Parinamavada according to three systems, or the creation according to three systems, we have to carefully define. But the question again comes back to what is nasha, what is destruction?
Just one question.
Yeah.
In Madhvācārya, Dharma Prasada is required as per Madhva philosophy. And
What is
in
What
Brahma
prasada is required? Huh?
Prasada. Brahma Prasada.
Okay. Yeah, Bhagavad Prasada, if you say, okay, fine.
Yeah. And even in Shankaracharya's explanation of Bhagavad Gītā, it comes to Brahman's grace. So grace
It has to come to Brahman's grace. He says that in the later chapters, but in the first few chapters, he doesn't talk about grace. But in the later chapters, Shankaracharya does talk about grace. Bhagavad Prasada. Yes.
In that case, this question is valid for Brahma, this Shankaracharya's Bhashya as well.
Yes, true.
Yes.
Because Saguna Brahma goes through all the changes and Prasada and all those things. The only difference is what Sudarshanji is pointing out. For Nirguna Brahma, what do you call, in Dvaita, there is no change. It is Ekarupa. See, this is a good question, Sudarshanji. Thanks for asking this question, because I have to clarify in my own mind completely before answering this. So I will check with some great what do you call experts in this, and clearly try to answer this question. I will note it down and answer this question later in the next class. Any other type of questions before we stop? We have only 10 more minutes now, because we started at like roughly 7. We have 8 more minutes. We'll just keep it as 1 hour. That way we keep everybody's time in order.
Just one general question. In the Advaita philosophy, there are multiple explanations about what is real and what is unreal. So similarly, in Madhva philosophy, whether there are multiple branches or multiple views from different mathas, or is it the same across?
No. In Shankaracharya's view, there is only two. See, one explanation of reality according to Shankaracharya, he doesn't express it in real terms. Even Satyam doesn't say he is real or something like that. In Shankaracharya's true brush, Satyam means other than Asat. What which is not Asatya is Satya. He never says what is positively what Brahman is. He never, because there is no gunas for Brahman. So Brahman is undefinable in Advaita. How can you define Brahman? You can only say it is different from sarva samsara dharma varjitam. That's what he says. All attributes of this universe is not there in Brahman. Brahman cannot be denoted by any particular attribute. He is beyond all the attributes, which all we know, that all the attributes refer to only these universal entities, or what we know as we ourselves and our surroundings. So Shankaracharya defines sarva samsara dharma varjitam, and that is one way, but he never committed positively as what that Brahman is.
But is it also true in Madhva philosophy that there are a couple of branches, or is it the same? The definitions are the same across matas.
Definition of Brahman, you mean? Definition of Brahman, you mean?
Yes.
That we see, the thing is, definition of Brahman. See, the thing is, here probably it can be done in relation to the universe and everything else, right? And there are different ways to define. And see, let me clarify definition of Brahman also, and definition of what is nasha or destruction, and Brahman as destructionless. How do we understand this? Here, Chaturveda nasha thing is only related to anityatva, means time related, time being a function. It is not a function of time, and is not a function of space, not a function of gunas or different types of qualities. The infinitely powerful, able qualities all the time. He doesn't lose his qualities. So change in change does it obviously refer to loss of any capability. That's, see, the definition of change, definition of nasha still has to be clearly without a problem. And I have to go back to the basics for that. I will let you know. I will let you know.
Thank you.
Good. That's about for this class. Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha. Next class would be very difficult. 2.18, you'll not believe. I've never seen Madhvācārya so extensive. For one, if you want me to show the, like, share screen. Let me change here. Let me just. Oh, I took that window out. It's not here. It's in anandamakaranda.in. And here, if you go to, one second, I will just Gītā Tatparya. Second. I'll show you that, my screen in a minute. Okay, let me show the screen here. Share screen. Can you see the screen? This is Gītā Tatparya.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. See, look at Ashoshvan and Vishwachasvam. It is 11. There's only one line in Gītā Tatparya. Okay. If you go down, see, this is the size of this. Natvevam has like 5 lines here, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines of Gita Bhashya, right? Like that, if you go down, most of the Gita Tatparya lines are only like 2 lines, 3 lines. Look at this. Nasato Vidyate Bhavo was how many lines? This was about 15 lines, 10 to 15 lines here, right? But look at avināśi Viddhi, only 3 lines, that is 2.17. But the 2.18 in Antavanta ime deha nityasuktaha shariranaha anashino aprameyasya tasmadhyasva bharata, 2.18. Look at the Bhashya. It goes on and on and on and on and on and on till. So thing is, there are probably, I would say easily about 40 lines of Bhashya here. This is a lot, and where each line is very difficult to understand. He quotes from so many, re-understands so many Upanishad terminology, Upanishad Vakyas, and he reinterprets the Upanishad Vakya and things like that. So it's hard. If you look at the next shloka, there's only 1 line. Next shloka is 4 lines. Next shloka is 2 lines. 1, 2, like that. See, this one, Achedyoyam Adahyoyam, is about 10 lines. Even that is not that big. 15 lines maybe. And Avyaktoyam, about 15 lines. So the thing is, if you look at any of the shlokas in the future of 2nd chapter, I would say everything is less than 10 lines. But this particular shloka, he goes more than about 40 lines or 50 lines to explain the concepts. That's it. So look, we are coming after Tritiya Adhyaya. Another small point I want to mention. I'll stop share. I want to mention, if there is 75 pages in the Gita Prasthana book, the book which I showed you earlier, the Gita Prasthana book, which I'm referring to. I guess you can see. And this is a huge book of 800 pages roughly. And in this book, 75 pages, roughly about 9% of the entire Bhagavad Gītā Bhashya is just explanation for this 2.18 verse. That's why I got very confused about how to deal with so much of material, and I have to understand every term properly. That's why this class was not well thought out for me. I couldn't prepare enough. So with this, I will stop. Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Parama Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Sarva Gurubhyo Namaha, Shri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha, Shri Lakshmi Narasimha Parabrahmane Namaha, Shri Lakshmi Hayavadana Parabrahmane Namaha, Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.
Thank you. Namaskaras.